Today I fucked up by accidentally giving my credit card detail to a date, who proceeded to make a number of purchases on it. Disclaimer, this happened a few months ago. A few months ago I had a one-off date with a girl in the city and we met at a bar. The bar was prepay, so you had to download their app and then look up their menu on the app and then order and then enter your credit card details to pay. Basically, when it came to pay I didn't realize it was like this and I had trouble downloading the app, so she handed me her phone and told me to enter my details on her app, which I did without even thinking about it. I never saw her again, but I checked through my credit card statement today and found out for the past 2 months there have been regular deductions at that bar from my card. I had no idea what happened, so I got all stressed until I realized. When I entered my details on her phone app, it must have saved them, and every time she has gone back to that bar I was getting charged for her drinks. I don't think she is legit trying to scam me. I think more than likely she didn't even realize, but I called up the bank and stopped the card and embarrassedly explained to them what happened, and got lectured like a 5-year-old about how foolish I had been. I know, I messed up bad. At the very least all her purchases combined are only a few $100s, so even though it is annoying it won't break the bank. But long story short, never ever enter your details on someone else's phone, and shame on the bar for not allowing people to pay the traditional way. Too long didn't read, went out on a date to a prepay bar, had trouble downloading the app to pay, so I entered my details on my date's phone app. She then purchased lots of things using the details. Similar thing happened to someone I know. His credit card details were on his now ex-girlfriend's Uber app. They caught an Uber together a few times when they were together. After he broke it off, his now ex-GF racked up over $300 in Uber fares to his bank account. He threatened to report it, so she paid him back only a few $100s. Dude, if someone spent even $100 on my credit card, I'd be fucking pissed. A few hundred is the kind of money that absolutely would break the bank for a lot of people. File that fraud complaint immediately. You don't know if she's done this to other people too. The worst thing you did was take 2 months to realize that there were unauthorized charges on your credit card. I have it set up so that I get an email and a push notification on my phone every time there's a charge to my credit card or bank account. Also regularly check my credit card usage online, and double check it once a month when I pay it off. Yeah, stories like this always blow my mind. The thought of not knowing what's going on with my credit or debit card is pretty crazy, and I check them once a day. Though the fact that OP didn't notice and also shrugged off a few $100 of charges tells me we are in very different income brackets, lol. Oh, she knew. They asked me if I want to launch a fraud investigation, and I haven't decided yet, since I am not sure I want to go through all the effort of them chasing her down and accusing her and her lying and saying I agreed to it or whatever. Honestly, as much as it sucks, I just want the situation over, and it seems the easiest way to do that is to just block the card and get a new one and move on. Was it at least a good date? No, cause when she asked me what I do in my spare time and I said video games, she couldn't believe it and started saying how video games are for kids, not adults, and what kind of weirdo plays video games in his 30s. Today I fucked up by accidentally calling a waitress a whore. So I went on a trip to the United States last year, not today, but I just found out about this sub and thought I'd still share this story. One day I visited a pizza restaurant in Miami, Florida. At a certain moment, the waitress came to our table and asked if everything was alright. Now, in my country, I would have answered this question with ja, whore in Dutch, which basically means yes. It is in English. But when she asked me this question, I mixed up my native language with English and answered, yeah, whore. Now, I knew it sounded dumb when I said it, but I was really surprised when she got really angry at me. Apparently I had said something really wrong, I thought. Well, it turned out that yeah, whore sounds exactly the same as yeah, whore, which I had not thought about so fast. She got really mad, and when I tried to explain, she didn't want to believe me. Maybe because me speaking English is totally not understandable. Well, I never felt so stupid, and this moment is still painful, lol. Too long didn't read. I fucked up by mixing languages saying yeah, whore to a waitress, which sounds exactly the same as yeah, whore, and this lead to the waiter getting really mad. There's a famous story in my family about some guy who came from the old country and retrained as an OB-GYN in the US. He went to the first delivery and the woman was Hispanic. Instead of telling her puja, push, he was yelling puta, puta, whore, whore. The nurses didn't tell him until after why she was crying so much. Edit, forgot to mention, that in his language, Romanian, puta also means whore. If it makes you feel any better, my French friend tried to ask for grated cheese by Englishifying the French word. The waiter was pretty confused to be asked for raped cheese. Waiter, well, if you insist. Goes to the back. I have now learned a new term and you just saved my ass. Just met the new safety lady at work and the only words she's heard from me was trying to slam some metal back to shape and screaming go to your home you whore. So now I can explain I was asking if the metal was going back to its home and yes it is, thanks. In Estonia, whore equals whore, and Finland, it's almost same, hora. So try to avoid these countries also in advance. Today I fucked up by checking how hot the pasta was and burning my dick. My wife made some delicious pasta today. After enjoying some salad, she brought over the pasta while still steaming. It was the thicker twisted noodles that you don't need to twirl or anything, and apparently hold temperature very well. Too well some might say. When I served my portion and prepared a bite I held it up to see how hot it was. Still steaming, a lot of steam. Hey, what happened to that noodle that was just on my fork? Also, why is my dick on fire? I typically just wear boxers and a t-shirt around the house since it's just us two. So there's that opening between the overlapping flaps of fabric there to make it easier to pee but is usually covered. Apparently I was sitting in a way that pushed up the fabric and created an opening to perfectly allow for exactly one piping hot Alfredo sauce covered fusilli noodle to slip through and land right on the tip of my penis. So then I jump up screaming verbatim hot pasta on my penis. Hot pasta on the penis. While flailing my junk around to rid it of the pasta, but the flap has now closed so it's just bouncing around in there Alfredoing the rest the area until it finally pieces out. Wife is laughing at me uncontrollably watching all this happen. Then I am standing by the dinner table wiping hot Alfredo sauce off the tip of my penis as my wife covers her face in shame at who she married. It feels like someone punched my penis and is currently soaking the tip in jalapeno juice. Not quite bad enough to go to the hospital, but I also won't be having sex soon either. Too long didn't read, hot pasta fell off my fork onto my penis, penis burned, won't be having sex for a minute. You fucked your pasta didn't you? Too long didn't read, dropped fettuccine, burned head of weenie. Dropped penne, burned penne. That's a story you can tell around the campfire, that one time I got co-blocked by pasta haha. In ER this would sounds as believable as the story of the priest who was hanging curtains butt naked standing on a stool. The priest slipped and landed on a potato which he had forgotten on the floor. ER people had to remove said potato from the priest's rectum. Get fusillied. Username checks out.